Good afternoon. My name is Niko House, host of the political radio show Mikasa Sukasa, and I urge you all to join our One Follow, $1 campaign. We show the mainstream media that we no longer need them anymore. Just donate $1 or more to the Patreon below. Also, hit the notification button so you can get updates whenever we do post a new video. Our One Follow, $1 campaign is actually almost to our goal of $1,000. Please help us reach that. It just takes $1 to support independent journalists, make sure they can pay their bills, buy new equipment, upgrade things, and all that cool stuff. And also just helps us keep bringing you good quality information and good quality videos. So, Bannon, according to Share Blue, there was an interview done by some of Bannon's neighbors. So for those of you who didn't know, Bannon actually has a house in Miami. And he was registered to vote here. I think he actually is still registered to vote down here. Now, there was a big faux pas about Bannon at one point, but it had something to do with something different. The biggest problem that they thought that he had to deal with was the fact that he appeared to be committing voter registration fraud or voter fraud. Apparently, it's a little bit bigger than that now. According to a journalist who had interviewed some of Bannon's neighbors, landlord, and some of the people who have engaged with Bannon or Bannon's former wife, Bannon was running a meth house. Not only it looked like it was a meth house, like he was doing some pornography in there, regular drug use. It was a party house. Now, at first, when I heard party house, I was thinking like, it's Miami, Bannon's rich. I kind of expected something like that, but apparently it's a little bit more. Now, when they go into the tub, it's like chemically ruined. There's nothing they can do about it. Same thing with the sinks. Just chemical residue on the tubs. People walking around the house naked. They got all the locks they got installed padlocks, video cameras for a house that Bannon supposedly didn't even primarily live at, right? Weird stuff. Now, what gets more interesting is how the people who come or who were asked to do services on the house, like for example, repair a stove, they got to the point where all the service people stopped going to the house. They said, well, why do you stop going? So in exchange for me doing the service, they were asked that they didn't have to pay money, that they would, give some sexual favors and things like that. Now, what's interesting to me is that this whole administration, including Donald Trump himself, has been anointed as this Christ-like, Christian-like group of people. Like, granted, I already know Trump is well out of the realm of Christianity as far as what it strictly means to be Christ-like. However, even Bannon, like, this guy is like clearly off his rocker. You can look at him in the face and tell the dude is a weirdo. In every way, like that, in every stereotype you can think of as a weirdo, you look at him in his face, his hairdo. I mean, to be, in charge of Breitbart itself it already says a lot about you. When he gets fired from his position, his first thought is, let's go to war with Donald Trump, which makes me think that he was probably fired for a legitimate reason. Like, he was a chief strategist on Donald Trump's campaign, and we've seen how Donald Trump's campaign rhetoric has somewhat changed a lot since he's become president, which a lot of us expected. But it ultimately looks like Bannon was just really salty, and when he got fired and trying to wage war. But my point is that, bruh, what is up with the right? How do y'all like people like this, but you claim to be Christians? Like, you claim to be conservative, but like the RNC, the Republican National Convention, was like, they said that they had their highest influx of homosexual prostitution calls during the Republican National Convention. And they were indeed politicians making the calls. You have other situations where, Republicans are constantly caught with prostitutes. And I'm not saying the Democrats don't do this, but the Democrats don't, put themselves on a crucifix and claim to be holier than thou a lot of the time. They do in other ways, morally, but I'm just saying, as far as like pushing the Christian ideology, like you got somebody like Bannon who literally has a meth lab. He literally has a meth lab and is shooting porn in his house. It's an orgy, just a walking orgy, which is not, it's not out of the ordinary in Miami. Once again, this is not, but it's just the fact that this is a guy who claims to be a super Christian. You know, the right, that this is the right. Y'all need to work on yourselves a little bit. Worried about people's stomachs and uteruses and stuff like that. Y'all got to get this together, because just like I don't mind calling out the left for their hypocrisies and ideology, I would definitely love to see more of the right doing the same, especially when it comes to your faith, because your faith is something that's supposed to be dear to you. It's supposed to be something that's important to you. So when you see these type of inconsistencies, call them what they are. Say maybe that person wasn't as representative as of my faith or my religion or my beliefs as I thought it was, as I thought they were. But yeah, just had to let y'all know that. It's funny. Article will be below. Turn on the notification bell right beside the subscribe button. Matter of fact, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Follow our $1 campaign. Help us reach our goal of $1,000. And always remember, find your balance. Peace.